All right, this is the July 9th, 2024 open public meeting of the Needham Library Board of Trustees being held via hybrid format, allowing remote attendance. First, I'm going to take roll call to confirm the trustees, library staff, and persons anticipated to be on the agenda are present and can hear me. So, trustees, Kate Cahill.
Here.
Rob Pettit.
Here.
Yakov.
Here.
Michael O'Neill.
Here.
Megan Small.
Here.
Joshua Small.
Here.
And me, Erhard Graves, I am here. Library staff, library director Robert McCain here. Administrative specialist Jenna White.
Here.
Program specialist Dan Bennett.
Here.
And our recording secretary Faith Chrisley is not here today. We'll follow the minutes from the report. Do we have any representatives from Library Foundation joining us this evening? Look like it. This meeting is being recorded. If there is a problem that prevents the completion of this meeting, we will reconvene at 7 p.m. on August 13th, 2024, or at an alternative time to be determined by the board and announced as we may discuss later this evening, according to the agenda. So I hereby call this meeting of the Needham Board of Library Trustees to order at 7:03 p.m. A reminder about public comments. Citizens are welcome to speak up for up to 3 minutes each, not to exceed a total of 10 minutes. Citizens are encouraged to inform the library director in advance of their intention to speak. Those who provide advance notice will be called upon first, while the board will take public comments under advisement. There may be no opportunity for discussion or debate during this portion of the meeting. Seeing no public in attendance, we'll move on to the minutes. I request a motion to approve the minutes of the June 11th, 2024 meeting, and then we can discuss. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Great, thank you. Any comments on the minutes? Things that saw.
I was saying that some of the headers were on the next page for the heading for something above, just to have those drop down, and then just to have some type of synergy with the bullets, that they're all either squares, circles, or dashes.
All right.
Yes.
I might have to take some notes for Faith on the sheet.
Yes, Faith is not here.
She's not going to.
I had a few notes as I was looking through it. On page 3 under archives and IT. It says there in that first paragraph, second sentence in it, in answer to trusted questions, Rob had noted that there will be an attachment for Matthew soon. I just wasn't sure what we meant by that.
There'll be an upgrade for connection over there, so it's easier for Mac users to use it.
I see. So like an adapter or a dongle of some kind that works for Macs in the community.
Yeah, and part of later I'll get into more detail so desired as part of the request for the FY25 state aid encumbrance.
All right. Just a reminder for everyone to try and speak up a little bit, since Faith will be relying on our transcript of this meeting. And we have the audio, or we have the HVAC running, and 4 fans in here.
So yell at the owl.
Yell at the owl. Yes, yell at the owl. On page 5, I noticed Megan's name was misspelled at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to add in that distinctive H.
Thank you.
The other thing I saw on page 7, the second paragraph from the top, I think just some of those next steps got a little bit misreported. So I was the one taking the lead on collating the report in preparation for the July meeting discussion to exchange Rob P with Earhart there. And then in the second sentence, Rob M was actually drafting the action plan for 2025 to have it ready for the July meeting, not one of the summer meetings. And then down under the MacIver series on that same page, while I did make a recommendation to Rob on that, Rob is not necessarily collaborating with me on the fall spring series. So You just say Rob P is working on the Fall Spring series. And that should be sufficient. So those were all of the suggested edits that I had.
While you're making changes, on page 7 in the middle.
Yeah.
There's a reference to the trustees discussed the draft select board letter, and, while you're there, you might as well turn that into 2 words. Select board, the way it's customarily referred to, capital S, capital D.
Oh, I see it there.
Well,
Yes.
it twice in that sentence.
Good catch. All right. And with Rob zooming in, we'll have to do roll call votes this evening. So I'll call for approval of the minutes. And so give me a yay or nay when I call your name. Kate Cahill,
Yay.
Rob Pettit,
Yay.
Jay Fialkov,
Yay.
Michael O'Neill,
Yay.
Megan Small,
Yay.
Joshua Small,
Yay.
and Eric Grafe. Yay. The minutes have been approved for that meeting. Great. Moving on to the director's report.
Thank you, Earhart. Starting on page 1, some highlights from each department. The reference department is using the new Massabet module to book study rooms for people, so for patrons. So that is now live, and patrons are able to do that online themselves, and which is great for them and frees up more time for our staff, and patrons able to book the rooms a little bit further out in advance than 25. That's great. And we think
People have been using it. It's been,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, okay.
And people just go onto the website to do it, is that correct?
Yes. One of the buttons on the main
Mhm.
website is a book study or study room or community.
Right.
Thanks to it. And also on July 1st, the social media team started its posting schedule. So we look forward to seeing a lot more activity in FY25 on our social media outlets with that schedule. At the bottom of that, I just want to bring your attention to our drive this summer to collect new socks and jet reused sneakers, which are going to a charity, and we've already, I think, driven the local FedEx driver insane with the number of bags that have been picked up in the past few weeks.
Right.
And we hope to continue to drive them mad for the entire summer as patrons are really responding to that drive. That's fantastic, and it's part of, as it says, the summer reading theme, read, renew, and repeat. So, children's department, there's a nature preserve that's quite fun and interesting if you haven't seen, but this also falls in line with that.
Good.
It's good. Yep. Thanks for checking.
Thanks.
So that's exciting. Technical Services Department, I want to thank Tamara for summarizing her highlights. So it's easy for me to let you know that the adult graphic novels in the YA and YA fiction sections that were shifted along with most of the YA nonfiction sections. So that's exciting and makes those parts of the YA collection more accessible and easier to browse for our patrons, including our adult patrons who may have been a bit confused as to where the adult graphic novels were. They were so closely aligned with the YA collection.
Okay.
I want to give a big shout out to Tamara and Jenna for completing the work on the Friends and Trust Fund budgets for this fiscal year. As you may remember from last meeting, the trust funds had a good year, and so there's a lot more spending for our collection in these first couple months of this fiscal year. So that is exciting, and but it took a lot of work to bring that together, and I want to thank Jenna and Tamara for that. And then last, for technical services, there's a YA nonfiction section. So that's been completed. Prior to this project, nonfiction books geared towards young adults were in the general nonfiction collection. So now they've been pulled and have a light nonfiction collection. So that's pretty exciting.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of this work is also just in preparation for phase one. Yeah, to make sure the collection is ready to move
Yes.
into its new home.
I do have a little bit of a concern that since Rob, your voice is a
Oh, I
little
see.
quiet, maybe
Okay.
you should move that closer to Rob, since Rob does
And I can
a
speak
lot
up
of
the
talking.
talking, that's a
and
good
Sorry,
idea.
Faye.
Also,
Yeah, let me
our
see if I
part,
can-
you know,
If you can
I
pass that
hear
over, I
it,
can
Rob
pull it
does
over.
more talking than anything else, so
That's a good idea,
I'm
Pat.
worried that Faith might not be able to hear.
I'm taking some notes.
Faith, if you missed any of that, just let me know. I can sit down with you.
I'll just have to be careful when I enter the conversation.
I got it pretty well, thank you.
Okay, oh, Rob too, okay. Technology archive, so Danielle's been very busy. She's upgraded a lot of staff PCs in the circulation department. That's been great work. And she's continuing to work with the consolidated IT department for the town and the Minimum Library Network to get ready to migrate from our current server to a new server. There's been a slight hiccup, so the project wasn't completed in June. So we're making sure everybody is talking to one another and everything is well thought out before we move forward and complete that much needed project. In the children's department, already we're have 557 kids signed up for the summer reading program, which is exciting. It's great. If you haven't stopped by, you may remember this spring we had eggs that hatched into chickens.
Yes.
So now we have
Eggs that are gonna hatch into something else. This is very exciting.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We have chrysalis. Is that the term?
Oh, yeah.
About half a dozen
Uh-huh.
that are now in the children's room, and
And we have the webcam.
no, it's so boring. No, it's not exciting. But they will hatch, emerge
Whatever they do.
as butterflies, mold. They will molt, and once they do that, we will release them into the wild of Needham. But
Do we know what species of butterfly we're getting?
I don't know. No, I'll look into that. I'll let you know.
Is this done in sort of coordination with a school or anything, like a science program, or is
No,
it's just a?
we ordered them from the butterfly place.
Uh-huh,
And it's just part of the summer reading theme.
great.
Just a fun thing. So we've got some books out if kids want to learn more about butterflies.
What about
and-
molting?
And the molting, yes. So that's fun. Paul is working with the Behrman Autism Center, which is located across the tracks here in the office park, to bring in some sensory story times starting in August. So that's exciting. And we'll be promoting that to make sure they're well attended. Again, the shoe and sock donation project is going well. In June, Paula and Lucia went to at the Elliott and Mitchell schools and made 11 visits. So they visited 275 kids to talk to them about the summer reading program and getting your library card. So that was some
Do they
great.
sign up then and there to get library cards if they don't have it?
No, they'd still be there. They'd
Uh-huh,
still be
there's
there
not a-
working.
yeah,
Yeah, so we don't have an easy
Yeah.
way to do it right then and there. But we want to thank them because with Veronica gone, the department's been short-staffed, and but they made a real effort to make sure they could still have these one-on-one visits.
I think I once mentioned that like a year or more ago, the notion about some special presentation when a kid gets their first library card. You know, I once saw it at a baseball game where if a kid went to their first baseball game, they gave him a little helmet, but it seems like it would be some certificate that would honor someone getting their first library card
A little
is a
gold-
nice way to build a connection between I don't know how complicated that is, but
Little gold patch that they
You
get
know.
to stick on, so. Nice idea.
I will pass it on. Thank you.
It's like the one I quote.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Just want to bring your attention to the Hometown Weekly, covered a program last month, the Rainbow Button Pride program. But also just want to note that we're getting good coverage. Cameron from the Needham channel, Needham local.
Yeah, media channel.
Oh, you-
Did a
Yeah.
similar coverage for our Pride efforts in June.
We've gotten great coverage in Hometown Weekly. It seems like we're on the cover on
Yeah.
a regular
And
basis.
they were
Just print
just,
all our press
right?
Yeah.
releases.
and they were just at a Matt the Magician program yesterday,
Uh-huh.
taking photos and
Yeah.
notes. So we're really grateful for all that,
Yeah.
as well as appearing in the news you need him
Yes.
Right.
on a regular
Yeah.
basis. So it's just great to see that sort of interest in helping us get the word out about what we're doing. And then last week we had Matt from the transfer station come and did a composting program for 11 excited kids who got to learn about composting, but maybe as interesting was to see the equipment he brought. So they got to see the digger he brought and peer into the engine and see it work. So that was a nice collaboration with another town department. Personnel, I'll go over these specifically or individually. So the job description for assistant library director is being revised and it should be posted by the end of July. Exciting news, we have.
Rob, sorry.
Yep.
I just wondered if there's any significant changes about the change in the job description or if it's like,
I don't know yet. I haven't done anything yet.
all right, fine.
So I'm thinking it's revised,
Yeah.
revising. I haven't read it yet. The action plan is taking a long
Yes.
time and
Yeah,
HR
yeah.
stuff. But I will get on it.
Then
But,
it's like, I just thought you might have had some vision that it.
It is only 7 or 8 years old, so there may just be like terminology things too that just need to be revised. But this week we've started, if you want to meet 2 of our newest employees, Ashley and Emily are at the circulation desk tonight, training. They are 2 of our new part-time circulation assistants. Tomorrow, Hope joins us, and then Thursday, Emily LaPierre joins us. And then next Monday, Kaylin Heston is our new part-time children's reference librarian, and she joins us. So we're excited to have all these new faces and names to learn at the library. And last week, we finished up interviewing 4 candidates for the full-time position of children's librarian. So I'm sure at the next meeting, we'll have news for you on that.
Speaking of like learning needs, has there been any thought to, like, you guys obviously are wearing all your badges, to like staff at the front desk wearing badges, so like patrons get to know?
They all got them, they just gotta wear them.
I mean, like, as like policy.
Yep, we do that now. Yeah, so all new staff get the lanyard and the fob and the badge that gave them.
And it's the policy that they should be wearing them when they're working at the front desk.
Policy.
I mean, I don't
I'd
know.
have to check. I
I
think,
mean, we're the trustees are in charge of policy.
Right, so-
I don't think we have a policy that requires that, so.
Right.
but they're all encouraged and we make it very easy for people to, and they get to choose whether they want first and or last name too. So if there are concerns about staff who don't want it, patrons who know their last name. Yeah, we don't require that.
Right, no, that's, I mean, it's more like so people can get to know the people who are working here.
Yep. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to be posting 2 part-time page positions. One is due to Tish King, who's a great employee who's leaving us I let you know last month she's retiring and getting ready to move away. So her last day is the first Friday in August.
I like what you're saying. I wish I could, I know probably all the faces of these people. I wish I could connect. I don't know whether the badge would have helped me, but I wish I could connect them, the names with the faces, to say thank you. Yeah.
All right,
No,
that's food for thought.
you know,
And Mimi is back. She returned from excused absence, so that's great. So we back to our full complement in technical services of employees, and then just a listing of some meetings I've had and attended since the last meeting. Then moving on to phase one.
Just to say, thank you, Rob, you really have gotten yourself out there. And we very much appreciate all this outreach you're doing with various organizations and other institutions.
I think it's just great also. I want to express also my strong appreciation for all these efforts. Such an important,
It's fun.
right.
That's the old directors.
I'm looking at it older.
Because I messed up. When I resent.
Okay, I don't want to make you confused.
So it may not be as impressive. Phase one, the team room expansion and renovation. So I mentioned last time, I'll just have this as a regular part of the director's report as we tackle this great project. So on Monday, July 1st, probably appropriately enough, we had our kickoff meeting with Brett and Nicole from UTL and Hank, who you may remember is the director of the I don't know,
Building.
some
PPVC.
yeah, and the,
Permanent.
yeah. So there's
Say that 5 times fast. And
So this was a great meeting. Erin Bassett, our young adult librarian, Allison Smith, the head of reference, and Danielle Tawa, our library technology specialist, joined me in this meeting. And there was a lot of great staff input about the design and the thoughts and the needs of staff and patrons for this space. So we're going to meet again in late July and then early August after Brett and Nicole have started to work on a design development plan. And Brett, Nicole, and Hank are planning on attending the trustees meeting in August. So they'll be here to present the initial design plan that they've come up with. So that'll be exciting. So make sure to be here. That'll be an interesting night because depending on the date, Kate Fitzpatrick will also be here to give an update about the town, as I guess she has
every
done
year.
so recently.
Yeah.
So those two things are happening at the
Big meeting in August.
same meeting. So I'll speak quicker then. And then Erin has some homework. She's putting together some information for the architects about collection size, the number of shelf space that she's needed, along with storage space for all of her supplies for programming, which currently are on all 3 floors of this building because she does so much. And then we did talk about creating 360-degree access around the stairs on the 2nd floor, which is different than what you may see in the space study, which was just very preliminary, where there's no access along this side of the staircase, only this side where the art gallery is. So we are in agreement that this walkway will be preserved, so that there's 2 ways to access this entire wing of the 2nd floor instead of just this space here. So that was good, and they're excellent in listening to staff inputs and very receptive. It was a really productive meeting, and it was good. So
Let me know in the future if there are consultations where it's helpful for me to join
Okay.
it.
Yep.
Be happy to try and make it.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I talked to Hank about that. And then I think after tonight's minutes were approved that say I'm now the user representative to the PPBC, I can get sworn in by the town clerk as
Okay,
the user representative. So I will do that hopefully this week in time for, we haven't been on the agenda, so we haven't missed anything. I haven't missed anything. But that may change in August.
Yeah, it likely will.
So I'll move on to other parts unless there are other questions about phase one, but it's begun and it's exciting.
Yes. Just remind me of what the timing is supposed to be when,
Oh, yes.
we have to go to town meeting like in the spring to get funding for the actual work. Is that correct?
So Brett passed out a draft timeline for this project, phase one. Related to the construction, when the article passes at Springtown meeting, construction is scheduled to begin at the end of June 2025 and extend until December 26th, 2025.
and the plan, as I remember, is that after the year with the construction, then next on the agenda would be getting approval for funding of the design phase of the second
Yeah,
phase of the construction plan, sort of on a continuing, design, construction,
the
construction,
hope is that
hopefully in a continuing
hopefully
flow.
there's a capital project every year that is
Right.
approved that keeps us moving between those design and construction.
That's it.
Right. I don't think we'll ever be at the point where we're at one town meeting getting construction funding for one phase and design
At the
funding
same
for the
time.
next
I think
phase.
that's right.
So I think, as Erhard said, probably every year there'll be either design, construction, which would make this like an 8-year project, but
That's what
What?
we,
if it needs to be,
right.
so.
I mean, that could change.
Yeah.
But that's our assumption going in.
Eight years is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially in this town.
So I'll circle back to the gifts because that's a vote that's later under this director's report. The financial reports that were distributed, the budget, the operating budget and expenditure report shows that town departments and Jenna have done a fantastic job of making sure we are using every expense dollar that's been assigned to us to meet the needs of library patrons. So you can see we only have a balance of 4.4% left in our total
Great.
expense line item. Salaries, of course, are much higher for obvious reasons. But we're submitting final invoices now for FY24.
So this document is not quite yet final for the FY 20.
Because of the approval process for invoices, this captures all of the checks that have been cut, but not necessarily invoices that have been entered since I made this report, as well as orders that have been placed for items that have not arrived and been received and then have the invoice entered for payment. I believe tomorrow is the last, it's either tomorrow or Thursday, that is the last day that I can turn over invoices within the previous fiscal year. Then there's a period of time where they'll roll it over and I'll have another opportunity to enter any further fiscal year 24 invoices. And Tamara and I are working right now to make sure that we know exactly what we anticipate will still come in. There will be some more book invoices that get paid for. But other than that, there'll probably be a little bit of money that we turn back, and it's mostly based on cancellations.
Thank you. State aid report shows you that most current expenditures for Canopy, which continues to be very popular. service through Overdrive, payment of $577. That closes out our FY24 receipts and spending. The trust fund report you have here. Thanks to Gerhard, who just signed some invoices that we'll submit to the trust fund commission this month for some Bigger and Taylor and Ingram purchases of books. So those are our trust funds. The statistical reports. On the circulation report, I just want to bring your attention to the total circulation. The cumulative for the FY24 so far through the end of May shows we're just about 12,000 items circulating higher than FY23. So we'll have that final figure for you in August as to comparing all of 24 to fiscal year 23. And then the downloadable audio is really risen. It's over 4,200 more so this fiscal year than last year, which is a great service for our patrons because those licenses are uber expensive.
These are the audiobooks, the Libby.
Digital audiobooks. Yeah.
I predicted this a while ago that this was going to become big.
Yeah.
Pay per download or we pay an umbrella fee for all?
If our patrons are accessing them through Hoopla, it's per checkout fee. If it's through Libby, we purchase a license which is used one person at a time for a period of time, whether it's limited by checkouts or a time period, or some licenses we have and don't expire. But
Just anecdotally, there's a book that just came out where the author was interviewed on NPR, and to reserve an audiobook, to do it today as compared to it's 26 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
but you can get used to the process where you book things in advance and you just do what you're doing, and then when it comes, either you're ready for it and you're happy, or else you can postpone it for another week. But that is a substantial wait.
it is. It's all.
And I think I have it for where it's not just limited to our library. I think I have it set up, and maybe Gay Ellen did it for me,
Statewide.
you know, so
Oh,
that's sort of interesting.
But we are purchasing off of a hold list in Libby regularly. But if you want to make sure we don't miss something, that if we don't have an advantage license, which means Needham patrons get to use it first, you can just let me know or fill out.
It's not an urgent thing. I can wait. I've accustomed myself to the wait,
But
but I
you
think
know,
it's interesting.
you
to know,
shouldn't
you know.
have to, you know, so just feel free to, you know, drop me a note or whatnot, and we can look into it.
Just those
but-
interesting things.
Audio book licenses can cost upwards of $120. You know, Stephen King, I'm
Yeah.
looking at you.
Just
whereas the book, the print book is
For how
whatever,
many
$12.
24 months,
24 months.
one person using it at a time.
One person.
Yeah.
Just to be clear for the recording, any Needham patron could come and ask a library.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Not just the former chair of the trustees.
Does the licensing, is it for a year or is it just a monthly?
It depends on the publisher. So some licenses are limited for a number of months, and some are a number of checkouts, and some licenses don't expire. But audiobooks are much more expensive in general than ebooks. So it's great to see a higher use of audiobooks by our patrons, and a lot of that could have to do with the Minuteman collection. You know, they're spending over $1 million on Libby every year. Of course, that's our money; it's not their money, but that's a great investment in Libby. Then the website hits. I just wanted to show we're almost at 40,000 more hits this fiscal year through the end of May than last year, which is great.
How much of that is, do you think, because of the transition to Minuteman Library, like switching the the way it works is like, used to, like,
The,
now to get to the Minuteman Library, like, search bar, it's much easier to go to the web, like the Needham website, 'cause it's right there, than it is to like type in whatever the old thing used to be. So like,
that's interesting. I don't
I mean, I
know.
guess you could bookmark it.
Yeah.
Right, you can use the app, but if you do it on the computer, like, it's much easier to just type in Needham Library, and it's right there on the front page, and then log in. So I'm wondering if that transition made a difference.
Excellent. I'll look into it. I'll see if I can look into it.
Yeah, so you
Minuteman.
go to like Needham Library, whatever, you Google it, and that website pops up. On the front page, you log in and you get to your account. As opposed to the old way where it's for Minuteman.
Yeah, that is a huge increase in website hits.
It's a meeting site, have a QR code.
I honestly don't know. So like I have the app, right? So I do some stuff on the app, but like sometimes it's just easier to search for things like on a computer.
Right.
So if you go to needhamlibrary.gov or whatever the website is, I honestly don't know because I Google it every time. Right on the front page, you can log into your Minuteman account. So at least I do it that way. So I'm assuming other people.
And you do it that way for what purpose are you logging in?
So like put books on hold or search for things like
Uh-huh.
every month when there's a list of books, like a science fiction list of the month.
Yeah.
Like when I look them up on like Amazon or Goodreads to see if there's stuff that I want, then it's just easier to cut and paste them directly into Minuteman and type it in on my phone again.
Yeah.
For example.
I'll look into it. That's a good question. And to see if there's any breakdown beyond that too, for this number. I'll look.
There are a couple of things with the new website that are not the website necessarily, but the new Minuteman system that are a little weird, but we can talk about this later. I don't think it's part of this.
And then just under programming, I just want to bring your attention to the overall cumulative increase in the number of YA and children programs and related increase in attendance, which is really nice to see. If you build it, they will come. So it's nice to see that's working. And luckily we have smart staff and enough staff to make that happen. Moving on to the holdings. We're adding items to the collection, we're withdrawing items to the collection, and then there's a new total at the end of the month. So unless you have specific questions, this is just sort of what we do.
Yeah.
You may look at the other chart that's at the end of my report from technical services that sort of looks like a very similar chart about new and withdrawn for May versus June. And the withdrawn figure is 24, is higher by 24 on the technical services. And that's related to the magazines that are recorded here that aren't recorded on this, if you were concerned about it.
Is that a typical, I don't remember the numbers being that high in previous months. Is the 1,200 something nonfiction books withdrawn? That seems like a high number.
It is,
Is that part of because of like cleaning up for the phase 1 project?
yes, yeah, and the whole shifting and
Yeah.
pulling YA out of that section, but also just some of the cleanup that comes.
Are Lucky Day books that are withdrawn, are they just not being Lucky Day anymore?
It
Or are they actually?
depends on if we have enough in our regular collection.
Oh, okay.
They may end up as donations to the Friends for a book sale.
Okay.
Am I correct in understanding that for those 1 week rentals, that we do in fact have fines if those are overdue? So there's still no fines? Even though
No.
well, but even, I wasn't sure if it was a different rule for these special 1 week rentals.
No, you may be thinking about a neighboring library. That is
Okay.
not us.
Okay. Okay.
We have no overdue fines.
I thought,
Even for
I
Lucky
knew that
Day.
was general. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
that was still true.
No, there's a
Lucky Day.
neighboring town that you.
Oh, good, I
thinking
can
of.
take out a book for my wife. I can take-
Yes. Please return on time, but if not, you don't owe us $100.
We had that issue, yeah, with the, yes, just be aware, that most libraries in Minuteman are fine free, but some parts of their collection are not. So,
I think
Yeah,
people
we had a-
respect that. I mean, they understand these are in the on-demand books and, you know,
right. But there is a neighboring town that has a Lucky Day type collection with very high overdue
I see.
fines
Oh, I see.
related to that collection. That if you use that and are overdue, you may be surprised
Mhm,
when
by
you
what
come
you-
here.
uh-huh.
But we don't collect overdue fines. That's not what we do. If you were to return it to that library, just be.
Oh, I see. People, if they return the book that they took out here, if they returned it to that
Just
library,
gotta stay here at this.
oh, that's interesting.
Just
Yeah.
use us.
Just
Okay.
stay with us.
We're enough,
That would
right?
give them a very unlucky day.
They tell them it's not your lucky day.
So. Yep, so circling back to the gift list for a vote to accept the gifts, we have 2 gifts. The Needham Exchange Club has donated $1,200 to us to purchase books to prevent childhood bullying and to pay for a program to occur in October for kids. That's with the theme, an anti-bullying theme. So that was very generous of them, and we received that check. The second donation is assorted children's books in Persian that the children's department has received from a patron. So those are the 2 items that are.
I don't know
gift
what the
list.
plan is for the anti-bullying stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a children's program that GBH produced, like for Arthur or something like that, depending upon the age that you're looking to apply to, that might have something tied into a theme where,
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm guessing. Sounds like the sort of thing. I don't know what age this is for, but,
Yeah, I talked to Paula today and she was thinking more of like a puppet show. So
Uh-huh.
for younger children.
Okay.
I think that's some feedback that the exchange club gave that they would like this to be for younger
Like
kids.
Punch and
Where
Judy.
You would.
Sorry, that
You
was
would.
Maybe not.
She couldn't let that go. Let it go.
Do we have a value for the Persian books? Like, because we normally have a value attached to whatever the gift is, and I just noticed we're missing it on this item.
There was an estimate, but it didn't seem accurate to me. The titles were in Persian and they didn't, I'm assuming that they didn't follow the US pricing convention that we usually do rely on.
Right.
So this is more of a priceless collection.
Priceless collection. We'll accept it as such. Oh, boy. Can I get a motion to accept the 2 gifts listed here?
I move to accept the gifts.
Second?
Second.
Great. Oh crap. Better go through roll call. So I will call each trustee by name. Give me yay or name. Kate Cahill,
Yay.
Robin Pettit,
Yay.
Jay Fialkoff,
yay.
Michael O'Neill,
Yay.
Megan Small,
Yay.
Joshua Small,
Yay.
Amelia Hargrave, yay. I know we usually do I, but forever we're just not feeling yay and nay tonight. So that the gift list passes. Thank you.
You're feeling British tonight.
Moving on to new business.
Well, buildings and grounds.
Oh, you want to do business? Sure.
So just to let you know, if you haven't seen the Mamava has been has come and been installed, and it lives right outside the door here. So that's pretty exciting. And Danielle's developed a Q&A for staff to help patrons and other visitors use it and understand what it's for. It is not a study room. It is only for lactation purposes.
Is it being used, like, does the app give the owners of a host of these statistics as to their use? It's an app-based thing, right?
Right, it is. I assume we can have access to it. This was a grant and a project funded through the HR department, so I think through
Like the town
HR,
HR.
we could find, yes, we could find out those stats.
I mean, it's might
But
not be
if it's
problem.
being used already, I don't know.
Just curious.
I think it would be weird if we had stats every month
I
on
don't.
Mama
I don't think we
usage.
need necessarily
I'm
monthly,
not sure
but
that
like,
that's appropriate.
I mean, I guess the question is it being used like at all?
Right,
And if not, is it a useful use of space or whatever in like going forward in next phase? Because, you know, space that could theoretically be used for something, and it's not very big, I'm sure, but.
It's,
When it's
It's-
used, it's appreciated.
Right, no, I'm right, I get that, but like, I just wonder, like, I guess the question is it yes or no being used?
yes.
I will say that our custodial staff was curious about frequency of use, but not as a statistic to report, as a control for how frequently it needed to be cleaned. And I will also say too that because this is a grant funded initiative by HR, we're not going to pursue getting it moved due to lack of use anytime.
It's a townwide,
Right, yeah.
effort.
there's another one at the Rosemary Recreation Complex,
Mhm.
a block away,
And there's one.
and
at the
there's one at
DPW.
PSAP. So this is part of that.
You said there's an app that will show
Yes,
where it
yeah.
is, because I just found when I was traveling, there's an app called Flush where you can find public toilets. If you have kids, this is very helpful.
Oh, great.
So I
Called
added the
what?
library, app. It's called Flush. So it had Roach Brothers, it did not.
You added the library up?
I added the
So now there's a
library
lot
to
of
it. So
buses
people can come
come.
to use the bathroom, but they can also come use the.
So there's a Mama app that a woman can, or that.
Right. Yeah, so our staff have the code if someone walks in and doesn't know about the app or whatnot and needs access. But it's generally like an app-based service.
Right.
Moving on from that, the new chiller arrived 2 weeks ago and it was installed and started working on early Thursday afternoon. So that's good, but from that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning was quite uncomfortable for staff. Our patrons who showed up had the luxury of leaving. So a big shout out to our staff who were able to continue to work through that condition of no air conditioning here in the building.
It's like 87 degrees. Oh, boy. Well,
Boy,
thank you all.
sorry, thank you.
I came and visited on purpose during that time just to see. It's like, it was interesting because it was cooler down here, which makes sense, I guess, and hotter. It felt good people like upstairs. And I don't, the third floor was.
Yeah. So this new chiller replaced the original from 2006. So hopefully we'll all be gone when this has to happen again. But it was,
Heat wave right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like upstairs, it's pretty comfy with like it being
yeah,
heat index of 106 today.
yes, yep. The third floor, if I shut my shades like I should, it would be better. But it really showed how the 3 different floors have really different environments from one another, as you may have experienced. I know you visited us on the 3rd floor, but yeah.
Is that him addressed at all in the design plan in these various phases somehow? Is that relevant?
It came up during the space planning phase where we talked about the need to think about HVAC systems and what would be necessary to change into different configurations. And I'm sure it'll be part of this design study in some way, shape, or form.
So phase 1 has some minor HVAC work for the new larger teen area.
Yeah.
You know, the 3rd floor is not part of any phase. So that's you know, but there's limited funding for these renovation projects, and they don't really address the mechanical systems in the building as a whole. But little improvements will be made as we can. And then we're still waiting for the masonry work to begin on the sidewalks around the exterior of the building and at the staff entrance.
I don't know what it's like upstairs, but these mini splits that sometimes have are great in terms of
May it split?
mini split air conditioning units. Oh, see that. Anyway,
Yes.
if it's uncomfortable.
Have some friends. for fun.
And our DI efforts are here. We've had Pride Month and Juneteenth displays in June. We've added more materials to our collections. And you can see the breakdown in the chart from technical services as to the categories that those items relate to. So we're continuing to make sure our collection is diversified and representative of the people that we are serving. And that is great. And then the new item summary reports, new items added in June and withdrawn in June. Any questions on those? And that's the end of my report.
Great. Can I ask you one question? When I came up with today, they had how will they handle that diaper disposal? Are they
Uh-huh.
gonna bring that downstairs too? So-
Yes, yeah, so those were just delivered in our upstairs for now, but they'll be brought down into the bathroom in the children's department, children's room. Second one, is it going? Wait, there are two bathrooms,
Yeah, there are
Two
two bathrooms in the
gen-
children's,
but they're.
and there
not
are two
gender
traps.
specific.
They're not.
They're not
So
putting
one-
them out here with the, on the phone is.
No,
No,
oh no.
Okay.
So if a parent is changing a child that wears diapers,
Right.
the used diaper we put into this pail,
Yes.
which is designed for that smelly stuff, and then it'll be emptied. Instead of being flushed or something else left. Yeah.
So I think we're ready to proceed with new business. So we have a number of important items this evening. We're going to start with this opportunity to explore a poet laureate of meeting, and we would need to appoint a trustee or representative to that selection committee. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Commissioner?
Yes. So this is an initiative that comes out of the town manager's office. As you may know, Kate Fitzpatrick loves poetry, so she applied for a cultural council grant and received one to launch a pilot of the program. She had met with Dimitri and Allison, the head of reference, last fall to get their initial input. We met with Kate last week to finalize the guidelines for this program, which will be sort of administered by library staff. So it's very exciting and will be launched this summer for our first Needham Poet Laureate. And the selection committee is Kate, myself, and Allison, the head of reference. There'll be a representative from the select board or designate the select board, a poet or author of note, and then I think somebody from
Or
And
or
ours-
author, so it's not.
on the selection committee.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, just the makeup of the selection committee. And then somebody from an arts council, Needham Arts Council
Yeah,
or something.
the council.
And then someone from the Board of Library
Yeah.
Trustees or a designee, if you guys so choose. So the,
I'm a poetry lover. I'd be happy to do it if anyone else, but I'd be happy to join that. If that.
I was about to say, I know nothing about poetry, so.
I'm a slight dabbler, so.
Just to give you a heads up on the timeline, we're going
It's
to.
every night for the.
So towards the end of August, applications will be due, and then, so probably end of August, beginning of September, there will be a meeting after we distribute the applications for the committee to meet and decide who the first poet laureate will be.
Sounds great. And it has to be someone who lives in Needham?
It does. Yes.
It's exciting.
Yep, part of the guidelines also present the opportunity if at some point we run out of eligible poets in town, or to shift to a creator in residence program. So that it opens up to people who are involved in the performing arts or other writing besides poetry, or even science, innovation, technology.
We'll find a poet.
So
Oh, I like, but they're building that flexibility into the bylaws.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Great. Count me in.
Anyone else?
I will make a motion to appoint Jay as the Needham Library Trustees representative to the selection committee for the Needham Poet Laureate. I think I said that.
Second.
Thank you.
Second, okay.
That was quick, Jake. Body was.
Glad we have someone who feels.
Enthusiastic about poetry.
Yes.
Then I will start a roll call vote. I feel like there's a fancier word than yay, but we'll go with yay. So Kate Cahill,
Yay.
Rob Pettit,
Yay.
Jay Fialkov,
Yay, Jay.
yay Jay,
In honor- in
Michael
honor of the
O'Neill,
appointment.
Yay, Jay.
yay Jay, Megan Small,
Yay.
Josh Small,
Yay.
and me, or great, I'm also a yay. So you are duly appointed. Thank you, Jay, and thank you for bringing this, helping create this great initiative. So moving forward, we have a state aid encumbrance request for fiscal year 2025.
thank you. So this was on the revised agenda I sent this morning to you, and I apologize for that. So the state aid encumbrance request may look familiar from last year's. There's an increase to Overdrive Advantage to help us afford those licenses, so that's up to $26,000. There's a new item here, the community room AV upgrades. So we received a quote of nearly $4,800 from Carousel to do upgrades to this room that would include making it more user-friendly for Mac users. So we have two SIP articles that were approved at town meetings in 2021 and 2022, which were used for technology and included language that allows us to use those small balances to help pay for the bill.
Because
For
the
this
Friends, I
one.
think, also had money to cover this from the Doris Kearns Goodwin event. If you could otherwise use this money for another purpose, my understanding.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah,
Whatever works better for you, but my impression was that there's money from the Doris Kearns Good event that would cover this. If that would allow you to use this money. I'm speaking for the Friends, but that's my clear understanding of it.
through this request tonight, if it's approved, we can move forward with the quote
Okay,
this month to have the
Okay.
work done before the fall programming starts up again, but
good.
duly noted, and
Anything that has
there's
to
a
do,
lot
yes.
of money that was raised that evening
yes,
for this room, and
and
We
things
will-
related to that, to the activities in the library.
so we'll definitely be using it.
Okay.
So that 273460 will, along with the unused money from the two articles, will help pay for those improvements to this room. We also included, you may see a large figure of $72,000. We sort of want to show the finance committee that there's a plan for the use of library state aid, and recognizing that there are often cost overruns with construction projects, and that the trustees, and we are planning for that possibility and helping to ensure that any cost overruns can be met without causing further delay or
Was this
additional
something that was
approved
discussed with the town where they, it's just something we're,
No, just Jen and I talked about it.
okay.
Good enough for me.
Sorry.
No, no, I'm saying.
I mean, this is overruns
Right.
tied into the
There's
construction
no-
project, right?
This is just a safeguard.
I get it.
We
I
have
think
no
it makes-
indication that like,
Yeah, no,
we'll
makes sense.
need this or we're gonna be relied on to have to use this. But if something happens, as the saying goes, it takes 18 months in Needham. And we don't want to have to wait for like a special town meeting or something. So if we can have a little,
And Rob, you have some experience with construction. So know that these cost overruns better than we, that these things occur and we may not think quickly.
yes, yeah. So in where I came from, we had sort of not spent our library state aid every year in order to make sure we had a good kitty in case we needed it to, not just for cost overruns, but for making choices we didn't want to make. You know,
Yeah.
cheaper furniture, things like that. You know, luckily that project came in under budget and we never needed to spend that money, but it was there to make sure we didn't have to make tough decisions.
Mhm.
In case we
So
had
this is a good example of getting or encumbering the funding for a real purpose.
And what's the practical impact if we never need that additional?
The money is ours, it doesn't go away.
Okay,
This is similar with the library salaries figure at the top that you saw last year. It's still there. If we don't use it, it's there. But it gives us that flexibility if we need to use that salary money to fund some staff.
It seems like a smart signaling opportunity here to early on indicate to the town that, we're thoughtful about this.
Yes, this is serious and we are planning that this construction project is happening.
That's right. We're planning on this happening. We're encumbering funds to make sure that we have skin in the game.
Right. Although we don't want to spend our money.
No, of course not.
Last resort.
I think it's also a good sign for, as we may talk to the foundation about some of their money that, the trustees have stepped up and, set aside this money in case we need some funding from the foundation for these capital projects that are happening. So that is the FY25 encumbrance request.
I get a motion to approve this aid encumbrance request.
Do you have any further discussion on? I just wanted to ask if there's any
Yeah, we can take
thoughts about how.
further discussion after we do the motions.
Oh, okay.
So if I get a motion to approve this. Second?
Second.
All right, yeah, we can open up for further discussion.
Favor. But I just, I know we have a trustees policy that we do try to encourage kind of new pilot programs and forward trial programs. So, as we move forward through the years, generally want to put a little thought to, I think, new programs. New ideas.
Yep.
Think about that.
Because some of the things you see here are basic to library services and collections right now. That overdrive and canopy are listed here is unusual. But we need to work to increase our operating budget within the town to meet those needs. So
Yeah.
it may take some years to transition, to grow that budget so that we can use money for more pilot-oriented.
This is an area where we sometimes get some pushback from the finance committee, who I think has been sensitive to how we use the state aid money.
Because, well, they want to make sure we have it, encumbered or designated for a particular use as opposed to just saving it for a rainy day. That's different. But, that's our choice because we control the state.
Other discussion? All right, moving to roll call vote. We'll go back to ayes this time. Ayes and noes. So Kay Cahill.
Aye.
Rob Pettit,
Aye.
Jay,
Aye.
Michael O'Neill,
Aye.
Megan Small,
Aye.
Josh Small,
Aye.
me, Eric Grafe, I'm aye. All right, state aid encumbrance request for fiscal year 2025 approved. And that moves us toward the fiscal year 2024 action plan review draft. So a reminder here about process. So I took the lead in collating all of our reports from the past several months into a single review and wrote a cover letter on top of it to kind of introduce the document. And this is open for discussion, feedback, edits, and then we'll have another opportunity between now and August to make any changes, because in August we'll be able to add the statistical appendices that we wanted to for the past year, just to kind of flesh out, not just what we did in terms of a narrative, but also in terms of the numbers, what the library accomplished. And so that's when we'll take our vote to approve this as our fiscal year 2024 trustee annual review. So hopefully you had a chance to review it. Thank you to everyone who was able to weigh in and make additions and suggestions and comments over the past couple of weeks to produce this document. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much, Kay, for wonderful comments on the letter. I really appreciated those. So open it up for discussion here. Feedback, thoughts on this review as it stands.
I think it looks great. Thank you for the letter. I thought the introductory letter also looked good. I found one typo somehow along the way for the goal to the final comment in blue, become a trusted and reliable resource. You see that?
What page?
I'm on, well, the second page of goal 2.
So yeah, it's a little weird reading it printed out like this.
I don't see a page. It's page 7. Yeah.
Become a trusted and reliable resource.
So in the comments, we anticipate not quite how I thought it was at the end. The library will continue its valuable collaboration with other sources of news about the town. I think we compromised between news about Needham and news about the town, and it ended up in my draft that you shared says the Needham.
Yes, I see. It's in my draft too.
Okay.
So would you like it to be the town, or would you like it to be?
I defer. I don't feel strongly about with news
This
about
is your goal.
news about Needham is, but not
I
quite.
would put Needham just so
News
you don't have
about-
to add another line and make their page breaks mess up.
And plus you got the ends, the news about Needham.
News about it. All right. we'll go with
Okay,
the,
get rid of
the
that.
alliteration.
Get rid of the.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for catching that typo.
I have one other general comment.
Yeah, sure.
General comment I have is that I was struck about how a number of the things made specific reference to, dependent on staffing because we need to staff the circulation discs and it was, it came up in several places that we'd like to do this, but it's dependent on staffing. And I'm not sure whether as part of this next year, we should follow up on what had been some conversations about really, giving some thought to the staffing levels and how we want to staff. I don't know that I'm entirely comfortable with the idea that we have to wait until we're done with construction in 8 years before we can address whether we should reconsider, how much staff we need and how it should be allocated, full-time, part-time. I know Rob had done a survey a while back comparing us to other towns and comparable libraries. And I was just struck by how that was relevant in a lot of the stuff. And I raised the question about whether the staffing issue, should be considered one of those things. Maybe it's not a priority, but I think it's, something to consider.
It makes sense. Because if you're gonna do it, and if there's part of the phases that we will do, maybe part of that should include that maybe as a caveat.
Rob, do you want to speak to this? This idea of staffing levels and the way that we're messaging that, both in the review as well as how we're looking forward.
Yes. So, as we have last year, will be, and that may be part of the FY25 action plan draft that we'll talk about soon. We will, in our budget case, starting in August, we'll be making a case for additional staff.
Okay.
So, and we have suggested FY25 action plans that we think we know we can get done with our current staffing level. So it's not to say everything is easy, but we haven't put anything in here for 25 that is going to result in that sort of comment in the future. Like, it's a great idea,
Okay.
but we don't have the staff to do it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this was created for FY25 for us to achieve. Now, that's at our current staffing levels, half the staff
But that's not
resign
quite-
or something, we may
That's
have
right. But-
openings, but I think some of the items in the FY24 plan were good, but just not possible with our current staffing levels. So that was
And I
part
accept
of
that. I'm
the
not questioning-
narrative
I'm not
for-
questioning that as the response
Right.
on the plan. I'm just
we're
wondering
not-
whether that's,
We're not going to ignore the fact that we need more staff. We're just going to continue to fight and hopefully fight more effectively for more staff
okay,
through the budget process.
okay.
But at the same time, we didn't want to set up FY25 so that next spring you're seeing similar comments.
Good.
What would be the ideal amount of people to make this our library
Yeah.
run consistently? Because I don't even know what the total staff is right now.
I don't
So
know.
if we, are we asking maybe for 15, maybe 20 more people? Is that?
No, I don't know the specific number, and I think more about not numbers of bodies, but of
Right.
staff hours per department and what our overall goals are. And it doesn't mean every department needs the same additional staff.
Right.
So that's work that will start this summer to inform
Gotcha.
a FY26 budget request that begins a journey to being fully staffed in a way that we can do the extra things, that may have been in the FY24 plan.
The reason why I asked, because if we're going to go out and hobnob with people and say, we could use some more funding for staffing, it gives us just as a kind of an idea of saying, it would be great if we could have 7 more people and have it budgeted for that. If that
gives relief as well as gives us be able to optimize what we produce and give to the community.
Rob, it might be helpful for you to redistribute that chart you once created that compared it to other towns in terms of the amount of staff and comparable libraries with part-time versus full-time.
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. I actually think I recirculated that in the last month or two.
Okay.
But yeah, it compared both, full-time equivalent staff members per 1,000 population, I think, just to give an idea of what the overall staffing was, as well as the breakdown between full-time and part-time. So I can certainly recirculate that email.
And I could look into updating it. The FY23 numbers are now available on the MBLC's website. If you weren't using it.
Yeah, I think I was still FY22, so slightly out of date.
Do you have a comment?
I do also want to say that while I think we could do awesome things if we had even more staff here, our problem over the last year about not having staff to do these wonderful things wasn't dictated by a lack of funding for staff.
Right.
It was dictated by staff turnover. We returned over $200,000 to the town. And if you look at the hourly rate for a librarian, that's an impressive number of hours. And I would love for our future to include even more funding for more staff. I want our staff to be well paid and I want us to have a lot of staff. But we're operating in an environment right now where it's been really challenging to hire staff and to retain staff. On top of that, when we hire new staff, we can't undertake these other initiatives. We're onboarding staff and we're supervising staff. That is a burden that can't be fixed by requesting more money at this point.
Is there anything we can do to help? I don't know that there is for that, but if there is, please let us know.
I think part of the solution, and this is all very complicated, part of the solution is to effectively move the town towards agreeing that we need more full-time employees and not so many part-time employees.
That's right.
The percentage breakdown here is unusual. And
that's exactly what I was thinking when I was saying time to reconsider this.
Is a legacy from the early 90s economic horror show here at the library. Well, it's over 30 years since then.
So what would be the strategy in order to accomplish that goal?
That's a lot of behind the scenes advocacy and conversations that I need to continue. But I think the trustees need to understand, as Jenna mentioned, it's not so much, it's not only about more bodies or more dollars, it's about stopping the turnover. It just that will not end.
But how do you stop the turnover?
You give people full-time jobs,
so they
don't get a library degree and scram.
So this is exactly what we've been talking about for the whole time.
There are also external challenges. Other libraries in the region have experienced churn as well. Throughout the country, libraries are losing staff and gaining staff. My sister's librarian in Denver, she's got the same problem. I asked her about their turnover just out of curiosity, and it's similar to ours.
But this is exactly why I'm raising the issue to deal with this year, because if the time has come to confront the reality, like we need to have a shift from to more full-time from part-time in order to avoid staff turnover, anything that we can do to support that effort, I think we would be comfortable doing.
Like one FTE, one full-time FTE is much more valuable than 4.3 part-timers. Or not more valuable, but in terms of training and turnover and whatever.
I would just remind trustees that part-time employees receive no benefits.
Right.
Not even prorated paid time off.
Right.
So if there's a death in the family, an illness in the family, anything, there's no prorated paid time off, never mind health insurance, never mind anything, there's nothing.
Right.
So if you don't work, you don't get paid. You don't get, if we're closed for a holiday, you don't get paid. It's the culture here, and that needs to change so that we can give people jobs that have a great salary, but are backed up by the benefits that make this a great place to stay.
So I believe that we're all in support of this. We've been talking about this for a while. It's the reason why I bring it up to address, but I think the idea is come up with some sort of, I think, proposal as to,
Right.
as to what we're looking for, and then we can all do what we do in terms of communicating with the finance committee or the select board or Kate or Katie or whatever to try and make this happen.
I think one of the toughest things is when you extend benefits, it affects the town's overall kind of thing, because I'm part-time with Needham Police. And we have no benefits. So if I get hit by a car, it's like, hey, have a nice day. But I get it, and that's why I'm saying to advocate for that, to make sure that there are people with professional degrees and they're gonna work part-time.
Well, it's in the town's best interest. I mean,
Yes.
we have the same interest here.
Right, we're really just trying to make this the
It's
best
endless,
library
the
in the
amount of
state.
time that the HR department and administration we're spending.
And you gotta
on
fill the job, you gotta do the
continuous
shut.
hiring.
So this is all the reason the time has come to make the case to reallocate
Yeah.
between full-time and part-time.
But it's,
It's not
yeah,
so
it's
simple. I
complicated,
understand.
and we have to be sensitive.
I
and,
understand.
yes,
Okay, so-
So, and I would say that, Rob's been here, what, 2 months now? And so he's in the catbird seat to
Yes.
understand and know where staff is needed, how to convert part-time into full-time, which positions. That's something that gradually over a period of months, you'll kind of come to, I assume you'll gradually get a feel for where those needs are. And, we'll look forward to hearing from you on that and support you on that.
Yeah, because I want to be able to, as long as I've lived here 55 years. So there are people that there's something that you really and truly believe. I want to be able to talk to somebody and be aware of these are the realities. This is what we need to have happen to make this the best library. in
And
the
it's
state.
the financially sound strategy,
Yes,
so.
we're with you
we
on
can
that
make this-
100%.
And
I want-
Jenna too, I mean, I
Yes,
appreciate your
yes.
comments and
Yes.
explanations.
Yes.
I think that the conversation that you're having right now is an important part of advocating for this.
Right.
This discovery of, here are all these cool things that we want to do.
Exactly.
So this is another way to prove.
That was exactly my reaction,
Yeah.
identifying all those spots.
Well, I do want to note here that we want to stay on
Okay.
schedule.
Right.
Okay. I think as we imagine moving forward into the fiscal year 2025 action plan, obviously that action plan, as Rob correctly noted, should be based on our current staffing levels, and should be based on the goals that we have control over in our strategic plan. But as we think about the work over the next 7 months, right, to prepare our budget and proposals and things for FinCom and for the town, I think we want to keep this in mind as something we want to be building toward as part of our proposals, and think about what does that look like as a strategy, and how can the trustees also help advocate for that over that period of time. Returning to the strategic plan review for fiscal year 2024, are there other comments or feedback?
Thank Erhard for putting together, writing this letter that
Fine.
really expresses it very well, and all participating with this. I think it works great. Very happy with it.
Thank you all for participating. This was obviously a new approach to doing this. Many thanks to Rob Pettit for being our leader in terms of thinking about these templates. That's been really critical to moving forward. And thank you to all the library staff who have helped us kind of compile all of the evidence for this work. I feel like this has been a really good process. And I think that there's ways that we can tweak it and improve it for next year, especially as we'll talk about as we look at the fiscal year 2025 with proposing specific metrics in our action plan for next year that might enhance this. But I feel really good about this as a starting point for how we want to approach this in future years.
I do too. I would just, oh, sorry.
Go, Rob.
You know, it was a different process this year than what we've done in the past, just because sort of institutionally, we don't have the institutional memory about how it's been done in the past. But, you know, to Earhart's point, I think it worked out really well. We were able to get all of the goal reviews done in a 3-month period, which is actually a lot more compact than what we've done in the past. In the past, it was really throughout the entire year. So I think it's nice, you know, especially as we're reviewing these goals for an entire fiscal year, that we're able to do that with the benefit of at least 75% of that fiscal year having been completed. I know in future years, we might try to compress that even more into, you know, maybe even 2 meetings where we go through those goals, or hypothetically even 1, although that would probably be a very long meeting. But yeah, having been through the prior process once and this one, I think the uniformity is really good here in terms of formatting, but also just in terms of timing, and it kind of tees us up nicely to get that action plan out, you know, late summer.
Well, I will return in August with some of the changes that were recommended here, just a few of the typos fixed, as well as adding in the appendices when those are ready to go, as Rob provides them.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
This is a really impressive letter and document, and will even be more wonderful when the appendices is ready. And so I just wonder, in August, after this is approved, then what?
Well,
With this,
yeah, it gets
like we
posted to
can
the
put it
website,
on the
obviously.
website, but to me, this is a great opportunity for the media.
Transparency.
Well, if the trustees want to talk to the press, the local press about this, and
That's good.
Yeah,
promote it.
And there's lots of outlets these days.
I think that would be great.
It's just very impressive,
Yeah.
the work that you did, and I think it would show the community that, especially as we're entering these 4 phases, that we have
Yes.
things under control, and like, we know what we're doing. If the board wanted
Great
to.
idea.
That's a great idea. And so I think when we do have that final version, we should circulate that with.
I could certainly write a press release.
That would be
Many
fabulous.
years experience. So we have our final argument started on it, and then someone, the leadership here, the chair, the director might want to do interviews. If the media outlet wants to do that.
When would we? I'm sure the Needham Observer would.
Yeah.
When would that, the appendices be added to this? How long? Because if we're gonna have something maybe before, just at the August meeting, with everything, you know, all together, we can discuss this so that we have a similar voice when we're going out, and just as a strategy to articulate this the best way and have a completed document, and not say, well, we're going to talk a little bit about this now, but maybe by the August meeting, it'll be complete. Is that
Yes,
fair?
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
And we'll vote on it.
Yeah, I think that's
that'll
that's
be
what the key is, that it's something we've had a chance to have a little taste of and digest it, and then we have something that we're going to talk to our constituents out in the community.
Yeah, I think we should also submit it to the town and select board.
I think so.
As a
Well, I mean, as it said in the letter, by definition, it has to go to the town manager.
Yes.
That's the point, but.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
But we can CC all of those folks.
You can turn the heat up.
Right, exactly.
You didn't see me,
No
do
heat,
that. I was
no
thinking
heat.
about something else. It was like,
Well, thank you all.
that
Appreciate
was
it.
awesome. Gerhard.
So that tees us up for a imagining what fiscal year 2025 holds for us. So I'll turn it over once again to Rob to share his draft proposal.
Thank you. So we have a good draft for you tonight to start reading, thinking about, and then in August, we'll probably bring back a revised final draft for consideration for approval for us to move forward. But the past month, since the last trustees meeting, staff have been working hard to provide lots of input at the department level to inform this action plan. So I don't know if, please know you don't want me to go through every single point. But one thing that we did incorporate that we discussed last time was the far right column of measurement of success. So, and we tried to create this text to be impartial, that didn't talk about the impact, saying things such as, and therefore it will be, we'll see an improvement by X percent or whatnot. We just sort of wanted to be like, the measurement of success is doing it, not if doing it was as successful as we had hoped or was neutral. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
It's sort of bland and doesn't have metrics for success as we expect a 10% increase of whatever.
It struck me as being
think that if
thoughtful.
we get the work done, that's the measurement of success.
Well, none of those types of percentage increase metrics would be measurable within a year. Like there's some longitudinal measures that we would have to do over many years to actually see those changes. So I think that's totally reasonable.
So we do
But it
have
also doesn't stop us from incorporating that in our.
Exactly.
saying that we've seen
yes.
such
Yeah.
impact of it, and we can include stats that we have them
That's right.
as we prepare our reviews.
So there are action items for each of the 6 goals. I can speak to them, but I want to just bring your attention to goal 6, which has 3 objectives in the strategic plan, but you'll see there's 4 listed because I think it's important to call out phase 1, and in the future it'll be phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, just to have specific action items related to that important project that is going to take up so much staff time and effort over the next year. Because the 3 objectives related to goal 6 don't really relate to the heart of phase 1. So that's why it's listed separately as a new objective that you did not approve of in the strategic plan.
So you're talking about objectives, goal 6, objective 4, phase 1, is that what you're?
Yeah, I just
added
we
that.
just added that along with these priority action items.
I think that's another good solution. And considering we're going to be voting to adopt this, we can always vote to amend the goal in that way.
Question is, there's a couple of items where so I understand. Under measurement of success, for example, goal 2, objective 1, measurement of success of community outreach plan has been developed. So does that mean that it has already been done as of the state? Or
no.
you plan
I'm
to do
sorry.
that?
The measurement of success will be that a community outreach
Oh,
plan
I see.
has been
Okay.
developed. I'm sorry.
At the end of fiscal year 25,
Yeah.
It'll have
the
been.
plan will,
Yeah, we'll have been. Sorry. I'll change that.
This seems to me extremely thoughtful in the product. I'm sure of a lot of thinking and collaboration among you and your staff to figure out what are the appropriate action plans for this coming year.
And just to let you know, we've shared this draft plan with all staff, so we're going to get more input from staff.
Great.
Not everything that was suggested is here. It doesn't mean we're not going to do it. Just some things are smaller projects that we can tackle that don't rise to the level of an action plan for the fiscal year. So, but the next document in August will be revised. But this is a good draft of what we think is important under each goal for us to accomplish and something that we can accomplish.
Thank you for taking such an inclusive approach with the staff to develop this plan and to give opportunities for feedback.
So we will be voting on this, not in, we need to vote on this, or is this,
I think we adopted formally the action plan last year. And I think it makes sense to do so because it's, especially with, for instance, the goal 6, objective 4, it's effectively an amendment on our strategic plan. I also think it's also just within our responsibilities as trustees to be voting on this formally, because we also then do the formal review of this.
yeah. Makes sense. I have one thing that I already mentioned to Rob that we might consider. So I was driving down Dedham Avenue near Regardless, and I noticed that the town has installed a new digital outdoor announcement board and LED board. Some of you probably have seen it, and we have trustees have talked about this as something the library might consider as part of our outreach and our marketing to that we have such a incredibly visible spot in front of our library. And so I thought that we might investigate or consider, I put explore or investigate installing an outdoor electronic messaging board for the library as part of goal 2, objective 1, or goal 3, objective 4. So that's a possible thing we could have to improve our sort of marketing and outreach that are addressed by those 2 goals. Consider.
This would serve to promote library activity.
Yeah,
but
library
also,
activities or
town
programs
activities.
or announcements, even like if the hours have changed or holiday announcement, any kind of announcement that the library feels is important for people to know about in town, driving by. We have a great, very visible spot. So, might consider exploring that as part of our.
No pun intended, but we have a huge amount of traffic within the areas that we are, not only physical traffic, but traffic from the
Traffic.
school, from the store, from the church, people just watching by.
Super high visibility. So,
Exactly.
we always struggle to get the word out on various programs and various new features we have at the library. That is a wonderful, new technology that's available.
Is that almost like the ones that we have in-house already? Would it be similar or just tied into those?
You're talking like, I haven't seen the one in Dedham, so it's like a big LED
It's
board based
big.
on that.
Yeah, it's a big LED.
Like on the
board.
corner, stick it on the corner saying,
We could choose
Needham
one.
Library hours changed July 4th, closed or whatever.
They've installed it really nicely, and you can do one tastefully, hopefully we would,
Select the one at the top.
like the one in the dump.
There we go.
Yeah, so, but they could be more of a permanent installation as opposed to just a thing that they stick out there on the side of the road,
Not an eyesore.
Not an
something
eyesore.
nice.
Something that's classy looking. So anyway,
Are you prepared, when you think about this as kind of like an action item, are you imagining the action item to be kind of like the exploration of
yes,
this?
right.
As opposed to like the measurement,
We don't want to
measure of
achieve
success
it, we
being,
want
we
to-
have constructed or,
Yeah, right.
okay.
Yeah, so explore or investigate an outdoor electronic messaging board LED.
Not unlike the work we did on the lockers, right, in the
Yeah,
past year, right? Because we were exploring that possibility as well this past year and decided that it didn't
It just
make
wasn't quite,
sense.
right.
But this is more feasible and it's just, yeah, people will respond to that much better. I agree.
Thank you for that. Other,
Rob, does that make sense to you?
Oh, just in response to Michael's question about it, probably would be a separate software
Software.
program than what we use for the interior signage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just really understanding what had to physically be done. If it's something that went along with the interior ones, it might just be tube and something that goes to it, but you have to build something separate from the sources in here, then just, you're the engineer, you know how to explain it better than I do.
It would be separate, guys.
Yeah.
Each of those boards gets updated by the thumb drive with PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
The ones here.
yeah.
The internal ones?
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
walks around with thumb drive?
I just updated tonight.
And so I think, I mean, what that raises, you know, and this is, if we were to do this action item as an exploration, you know, we'd not be just be looking at the physical installation. We'd also be understanding how this fits within workflows and staffing, you know, who would be responsible for maintaining that.
Town traffic patterns, police, I mean, there's lots of things that go into it, obviously.
I don't know how deep a dive we have to do.
Right, I understand, but.
Well, the thing is, if you had, say you had an emergency where there was like there was some kind of tornado, something could say something, weather conditions, whatever it was. Or,
Yeah,
you
although
know,
I would envision it to be mainly about the library.
well,
Hyperlocal tornadoes at the library.
the tornado's called Gale. Excuse me a minute.
I think, I was just gonna say really quickly, you know, if we're gonna do an electronic sign, I love the idea of getting the message out and kind of being a hub of town information. Obviously, if that goes in there, it's just gonna be, you know, to your point, kind of a goal to explore it. But traffic safety is always a big concern, especially when you've got an intersection with, you know, kids and high school kids and whatnot. What GBH did when they put that nice big kind of electronic message board up on the Mass Pike is it's only one image, right? It's not constantly scrolling through things. So if you're a driver, you glance at it, you get whatever single message is on it that day, but your eyes are not sticking on it, waiting for the next thing.
For a long time, by the way, we were not even allowed to use any text. In the beginning, it was purely a visual. They were worried about, you know, potential accidents on the Mass Pike. And so at the beginning, at least, it started out with purely, you know, static visual image. Couldn't even put GBH on the image, you know, for a while.
Are there other responses, suggestions, as folks who've reviewed this, we want to share?
I'll do,
It all seemed very reasonable ideas and things that are doable within a year, I thought. Like,
Yeah,
like, yes, there's some things that may not be doable, but it's like, it all seems like it's very reasonable,
follow the
yes,
linear
so
which is good.
that may sound, okay, good, I'm glad you said
No, no,
that.
that's
Because
exactly
it
what
may
you want.
sound like we're
And-
being too conservative
No,
or
absolutely
not
not, no.
going for it, but I want to say phase one.
Right.
Phase one,
absolutely. No, exactly.
phase one,
Right, and I
like-
think, my point being is, I think that it's not something that is overly ambitious, but also something that clearly is moving forward in an appropriate way.
You
And
can
the-
tell
and the-
that there's thought to
Right.
this. It's not just this pie in the sky.
Right.
There's a methodology to this linear expansion of this linear thought.
And what I like is, it covers all departments from all 3 floors, from admin, tech services, children's circulation, reference, technology and archives. We're all in on this.
It seems also to show that the structure of the strategic plan has proven to be helpful as a guide for taking, you know, these action steps on a year-by-year basis.
I haven't counted them, but I think that there are more action items here than we had last year. So seems appropriately ambitious. I didn't realize Story Walk was trademarked.
Yes.
I did have one question about an action item on goal 6 under phase 1. This is me being a tech nerd, but you included additional electrical outlets, RJ45 ports, and security cameras. And I was curious about the RJ45 ports. So many folks are using wireless. We were probably using RJ45 ports for some of the circulation computers, but I wouldn't know how much we would need to actually expand to increase access in these spaces?
What's your question?
So.
I'm sorry. I'm not there.
Did I geek you
I was
up
about
too
to take
much?
notes. I'm like, I don't know what they're asking.
What are
Huh?
you looking at with the ports?
So this first action item under objective 4 on goal 6, recommended needed technology improvements, including additional electrical outlets, RJ45 ports, and security cameras. I was curious that we were listing RJ45 ports since we
It's
rarely
wrong.
need more RJ45 ports nowadays because
We or
the world, because everything is handled via
wireless?
Wi-Fi. But I understand that we might have circulation and printers and things that might still rely on those.
We do, and because we have our own server in-house and it is directly connected to Minuteman, we are very, very secure in what we connect to that system, and as the server controls printers, yeah.
Got it. That was my question.
Yeah.
I'll check with Danielle too, so she can. Hopefully she gave me too.
Because my question was purely about like, is this about our internal systems
It's
or is this
internal.
about access for the teams?
It's the reason why we update the boards by drives and it's not connected to the server.
Yep. Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you, Aurora. I love it.
Other thoughts, questions, suggestions?
But it was a hearty conversation and enlightenment. All these different aspects. It just seems like we're moving in a great direction. That's the way.
Yes.
Dope.
I'm really excited about this. I can't
Yeah.
wait till we get to August and we get this completed. We get to go out.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that.
and I'm looking forward to the next draft of this and the tweaks that you make with the feedback from the staff. If we come across, if things dawn on us over the next several weeks, now that we've had a chance to think about it more, should we just send those comments to you individually?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll copy you. I mean.
You can forward them to
wanna
me.
know too?
Yeah, just a reminder that we can't send them to all of us because that would constitute a violation of the open meeting law. But we can send any direct feedback to Rob if you have comments and thoughts that we could be incorporating into the August meeting's discussion. All right, thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, staff,
Thank
for all the work going into that.
Yes.
Awesome. We don't have any old business specifically noted here. So we'll move on to the library art and art exhibits committee report.
Okay. Well, we don't have much of a report because we are about to meet on Thursday. So at the moment, we have artist Daniel Callahan, the landscape artist and ceramic artist Sarah Furrow in cases. And I just wanted to invite everybody here on Thursday at 4. Sarah is holding a meet and greet. If anybody's around and wants to show up, and there'll be a gathering of people who are interested in ceramic art. Her work is very, I would say, call it sort of impractical in that for ceramic artwork, it's not bowls and cups and plates. It's really art. And then, so for the rest of the year, we have July, August, we have Mastermind 11, a very accomplished pastel artist. September, we're planning on Sherwin Long, who is an activist Boston painter, acrylic painter, who's going to be joining us. And October, we have Connor Plunkett, Pen and Ink, Boston Landscapes. November, December is, as usual, the Needham Art Association for 2 full months. So we'd like to make sure we get all our Needham artists a chance to show their work. And so this Thursday, we're going to be discussing the Americans Who Tell the Truth exhibit, which is coming in January for 6 weeks, and the artist will be holding giving a talk on January 5th. And the committee also was just going to take a look at and discuss the upcoming renovations for the second floor area and how it might or might not impact the art gallery experience. And if we have any feedback, we'll that to be forwarded. So that's our report from the Arts and Exhibitions Committee.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Kay?
No, I think it's great.
Yes, thank you so much.
You guys share one.
Yes,
Yes,
he's
coming in September.
yes, he's a wonderful young man. And I think when we were talking, I just happened to be here the day that he came in, and I saw his stuff, and some of it reminded me of a more current Jacob Lawrence.
Yes.
It's like you can see there's an influence of a Jacob Lawrence to his work, but it's not as say the word abstract, but his is
It's abstract in a more modern,
modern,
contemporary way.
much more contemporary kind of feel than what Jacob Lawrence would do. It's similar, but it's like you can tell that there was some other influences in this young man's artwork, and he was very humble and just like he walked through the library, he could not believe that he was going to say, I'm going to be putting stuff here. He was just enamored with our physical space. He hadn't seen anything like this.
And he's working on new pieces to
Yes.
display.
Oh, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
It's really great. Moving to Rob Pettit, updates on the MacIver series.
Sure. So there are a few leads, thanks to some of the folks who have reached out over the past few months. I'm following them up. Some are more promising than others, but I'm hoping for a series of at least 3 MacIver programs this coming year. I'll be working with Gay Ellen on nailing down the dates for those. That being said, if you have more ideas, always welcome to hear them. Always great to get more. So feel free to reach out. But other than that, no specific updates at the moment.
Great, thanks, Rob.
Rob, the 3 programs this year, does that follow sort of the school year, like September through May, or?
Yes, sort of the exactly the school or fiscal year.
Thanks. Jay, update from Friends.
Not much to report since the last book sale. I don't think they have a monthly meeting this month. I know the program committee is putting together a very strong program of speakers over the next year. And Margaret Pantridge and Sue Kesner are sort of coordinating that. So those names will be put together and announced, I imagine, probably in early September.
If I could, I just want to thank the Friends for their understanding of the Chiller project and how they had to put their efforts on hold for a few days while that project happened. So the workers could access the roof through their space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were understanding and it was appreciated.
Library Foundation, Jay?
Nothing to report since I went. I think I went to my first foundation meeting. I thought that was before our last trustees meeting. So nothing new to report since then.
We have trustee comments listed here, but we actually have a kind of voting action item immediately following that. So I'd like to move past trustee comments to get to the date for the next meeting. So as Rob mentioned, we try to have a meeting with the town manager every year so that they can report to us. We can have some dialogue, and Keith Patrick is not available on our normal time of August 13th because there's a select board meeting that same night. And so we're trying to find an alternative for August so that we could have a meeting at a time when she could join us. And the best, the proposed option would be the first Tuesday, August 6th, instead of the second Tuesday, August 13th. And so I wanted to put that on out there for discussion.
I'm gonna be out of the country,
Out of the
but
country.
I can, it's just me, that's fine.
Sorry, I heard I didn't catch the date.
August 6th, so the first Tuesday instead of the second Tuesday.
I wouldn't be able to make that either, unfortunately, out of country.
Is there another day, the week of the 12th, that's not the Tuesday, that might work? Like Wednesday, the 14th?
I don't have this room available, but I do have it available on Monday the 12th and Thursday the 15th.
Well, we do have options for other spaces. So we could meet. in the trustees'
But
spaces.
you would not have the ability to have any kind of electronics.
Either of those days, the Monday, the 12th, or Thursday, the 15th would work better for me than the 6th, and maybe also for
Do
Robin.
we need to know
Yeah,
that
same here.
also?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
I think there was another proposed date, right?
You're right. She suggested 2 dates in August that work for her.
What was the other one?
The other one was August 27th, which is the last Tuesday. So that also works for her.
This room is also not available. But I can talk to the group that has it booked and see if I can. That is what you go with.
I would just remind trustees that the architects want to
Also.
come to the meeting, and
Yeah.
if it were the last Thursday of the month.
So
They're going to continue their work. So you may,
So we want to come earlier. We want to meet earlier.
is it worth checking with Kate to see if she's available, and
I could check
and
again.
with Hank? I don't know.
Those were the 2 dates she gave.
And I know
So-
she might be away on
Maybe
vacation.
she was only looking at Tuesdays.
It's possible. I mean, there are other meetings throughout the
Right,
week.
of course.
Yeah.
That we want to be sensitive to, but
So
I could
for the
check with her
6th, we have
about-
2 trustees.
I can probably make it, I'm not 100% sure. The 6th.
but Rob
And Rob's out.
and Josh would be out.
27th would be a hard day for me. That's the day my mom passed.
I also can't be here on the 27th either. for that.
I can't be here on the 27th. So
Well, why don't you, probably worth checking to see if the 12th or the 15th works for her, and if not, then we'll, I don't know. What do you
Can she
think?
come the next month and split it and keep 13th and do?
Like have the architects on the 13th.
Kate, want to be at
Yeah,
the
have
same time as the
on the
architect?
13th and see if Kate can do the third instead.
She might want to be here for that too. Is Katie coming too?
Yeah, I think there's a duo.
Yeah.
the one challenge we have is the date of our meeting is specified by the bylaws, so a change would have to be voted on.
So we need a date.
So we need to pick a date.
We need to pick that date
So
today.
she's
Well, we'd have to
asking us-
convene a meeting.
We can convene a meeting over email.
Over a Zoom meeting.
If
It'll be a Zoom.
we
What?
could meet via Zoom if we announced it ahead of time as an open meeting. And then reconvene it purely for the vote for picking an August date.
It's just too bad she didn't have more than what we knew what her schedule was.
Ted, do you have a-
The select board meets on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month, so I would say don't suggest a
She
2nd or
suggested-
4th Tuesday.
She suggested.
Yeah, we started off by not doing it the second Tuesday.
We were talking about September, the 2nd Tuesday in September. Somebody
Got
had suggested pushing it to
Got
the, so just putting it out there that select board meetings are regular and public.
About September 9th. or 10th.
So the idea here would be moving a September meeting in order to create the space for Kate to attend.
Say that.
If Kate wasn't gonna come in August,
Oh,
can't
if
come
we're
on the
talking about
second
her
Tuesday
not
in
coming in
September.
August, I see, and then we would stick with the 13th. Yeah.
I will tell you, it will be difficult to shift things around in September. There are programs that have already been booked for the evenings. And most of the usual groups have started meeting again. I can try shifting, but in meeting time.
So, but we could meet, you're saying we just can't, I mean, if we met upstairs, I just don't like it having to be completely dependent on this room being available, if it's not the only room in the world.
Well,
So,
Also, just to be clear, even if, say, Rob or Josh can't make this meeting, it's gonna be recorded, so you obviously be able
they
to,
could catch up.
to see whatever you miss.
Right, and that's absolutely fine by me.
Doesn't, assuming that everybody else, it just has, that everybody else has to be here, because otherwise there's not a, quorum. Because Jay, you said you weren't 100%.
I think I'm in town, I'm just not sure if I'm available that night, but I probably can make
Can you
myself
make yourself-
available.
Right, because otherwise it's
I'm
not.
babysitting duty.
There's so many players involved
Yeah.
here, and people with very intense schedules.
Yeah, because it's not just K, it'd be UTL.
It's UTL.
And
Do we know that the
And
architect, did you confirm that the architects would be able to come on the 6th?
I did not talk to them about the 6th because the trustees hadn't decided on the 6th. But I think they are eager to
I would
make
hope they
themselves
would be.
available.
I hope they would be flexible, us being the client.
I think having Kate come is a priority on the date that she's available. You know, that's a high priority.
It is a high priority, yeah, it's a person who has a very busy schedule.
Yeah,
So, obviously it'd be ideal if we could all be there. But it also seems like a good opportunity that we should just, it's 1 month. So I would seek a motion to move our meeting in August from August 13th to August 6th.
I move August 6th.
Second. Or think maybe got.
Apologies to probably.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in the Norwegian fjords, so
Oh, well.
I don't think I'm gonna
I'm
make
not gonna
it.
zoom in.
No.
That's okay, I'm busy in Glasgow.
Oh.
So I'll be running the technology.
Uh-oh.
No
Danielle?
With the
Actually,
architects
I
and
think
Kate
that-
looking at me.
Oh, we're gonna stick this on Danielle, and I will take her through it.
Oh. Anybody can do it, Danielle. That would be a great test.
well, let's take a roll call vote unless there's further discussion that we want to have on this proposal. Hearing none, look for a vote of approval. Aye or no. Kate Cahill.
Aye.
Rob Pettit.
Aye.
Jay Fialkoff.
aye.
Michael O'Neill.
Hi.
Megan Small.
Aye.
Joshua Small.
Aye.
And me, Erhard Gray from aye. Okay, it's unanimous. We move our August meeting to August 6th to allow,
No,
no, August
August
6th.
6th.
We switched from I to, from yay to I.
Yeah, we did that halfway through. Keeping you on your toes. Okay, and that finishes our business for tonight, unless anyone, if we want to return to trustee comments and anyone wanted to share any trustee comments before we move to adjourn. All right, seeking a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Thank you.
Oh.
Second?
Second.
All right. Well, once again, roll call. Ayes to approve. Kay Cahill.
Aye.
Rob Pettit.
Aye.
Jay Fialkoff.
Aye.
Michael O'Neill.
Aye.
Megan Small.
Aye.
Joshua Small.
Aye.
Me, Erhard Grafe. Aye. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.